What up, my good people? Yes, this is not Christian Gokell. This is Ben Troop with the homie PJ Zuko. This is Second Down. Christian had to handle some family business. He'll hopefully be back with us later on in the week. But we are holding down the fort. A lot to get to in today's show. You got spring games. You got the draft. You got Easter food. But before we get into spring games, how many got some of that Easter sun yesterday? I know it was hot down here in the Southeast. Our one PJ Zuko comes in and look, listen, at a certain point, we're going to get cameras, in the studio to hear some of the pre-show stuff that we can, stuff that you guys can listen to without us getting kicked out the air. Yeah. PJ comes in and PJ's looking around like, what is PJ looking at? And PJ says, man, I need some sun, man. Like,
it's bad.
I'm looking at these jerseys. So PJ, man, outside, we're going to get to the Easter food and we're going to get to the draft, get to the spring games, but wasn't able to get out and about on Easter Sunday?
Man, Easter Sunday was interesting yesterday because actually, like, most of my family's out of town. So they're up visiting my bigger brother and whatnot and his kids and nephews and everything. Couldn't go up there this time. So it was just kind of me and my brother hanging out and doing some stuff, chilling around the house, taking care of the animals, all that good stuff. We had, most everyone had some crazy Easter food, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to hearing about that. Yeah. Ours was kind of normal. Not gonna lie. We had some good moments and everything like that, but it opened up the day with some bacon and eggs and then had a pretty healthy dinner. So, it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. But obviously, like you said, I did not get any sun though. There was not a lot of outside time. Yeah. Like you said, I was just kind of looking at the cameras and whatnot. This is a different angle than I normally have. And I'm like,
you didn't take advantage of the rays?
I'm starting to blend in with these jerseys behind me. I'm like, wait a minute.
We was gonna go to an all-white background, but PJ goes, absolutely not.
Yeah, we can't do that.
I don't want you guys looking at me like, hey, this guy who's, it's a mannequin with a Peachtree shirt on. But no, man, I thought that was funny, man. We first came on PJ, like, look, man, I got to take advantage of some of these coastal sun rays, man. But this is Second Down. I am Ben Troop. He is PJ Zuko, filling in for the great Christian Gokell, who was out handling some family business. Hopefully he'll be back with us later in the week. Spring games. Spring games, when spring games are over with, PJ, that is the official end of the previous season is over with. I know. Yeah, it's the previous season's over with. The start of the new season, 2022 season is here. I know my Florida Gators did theirs last Thursday night. You had so many. You had Alabama, I think, LSU, Georgia, and everybody that finished up the spring season, I think, finished it up on Saturday. PJ, when you think of spring games, what comes to mind? What are you looking for to get out of a spring game?
Well, honestly, I of course, everyone wants to see your starters, right? Everyone wants to see that depth chart. Who's going to be out there? Who's leading the charge when it comes to certain positions, maybe especially positions that are in contention and everything like that. I'm sure a lot of Georgia fans were watching that quarterback depth chart, hoping that something was going to change, but guess what? Yeah. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, you always try and look at those positions of contention, or maybe you had a star person in the secondary or a star linebacker end up graduating or something. You want to see who's stepping up to the plate. So I think that's one of my biggest interests. And then after that, you kind of get that first drive, everything starts, everything, they get out there, they're going 70 to 80% and whatnot. But then it's like, where's our depth?
Yeah.
All right. Now I automatically want to see, wait a second, who are these second and third guys and what can they do too? And maybe hopefully you come out with a few new players that you can't wait to see in the fall. You know what I mean? So that's my main thing is, of course, those areas of contention, but then, I want to see the other guys. I want to see, let's say, in case someone gets hurt this fall or something like that, who's going to be filling in for them. So that's certainly my biggest thing. I know a lot of people look for that quarterback spot. I feel like a lot, not even talking about Georgia.
Yeah.
A lot of people look at that quarterback spot and want to see that. But really it's just an all around thing, right? And it's a full team. So got to see who's checking in where.
Now PJ, it's well known. PJ is our relative, Penn State enthusiast. # we are. Is spring football the same up north as it is now? Because down south, you've been here a little while, PJ, and we lose our minds. Anything that gives us college football news, I don't care if it's somebody broke a nail, somebody didn't, pass their, exit exam, whatever. We go crazy. Is it the same enthusiasm at places like Pitt, Penn State, Maryland, Ohio State, and so forth.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because also I'm probably not a great example for a normal fan because it's just, we work in sports radio. We're obsessed.
Yeah.
I was a kid in high school. Other kids were like looking up what they're going to do on Friday. I'm like, wait, we're looking at this 4-star recruit. What's his highlight tapes like? All that kind of stuff. So now, I mean, I think with me and I think with the immediate local fan base, in State College, in Happy Valley, in those places, yeah, I think the buzz is around. You're hearing about spring practice. Can't wait to see what's going on there with the spring games. I think you start to broaden that range a little bit of maybe the outside fan base that's not right there local. It probably starts to lose its luster. Whereas down here, man, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. You start talking about people in Middle Georgia, to people in West Georgia, people where, the population's 10. Well, either that or the population's 10,000, right?
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Yes.
They're looking up. They're trying to see what's going on. Their enthusiasm is through the roof, right? So, I'd say Ohio State might be around about the same, but also people like Pitt, Maryland, they don't really care about football, so probably not. But no, I think it is different. We joke about the hashtag. It just means more, blah blah blah. With all the SEC stuff, I think that's overblown to a certain extent.
Yeah,
but there is some truth to it, right? That there is some relative truth to it. So I think especially in the spring, in the off season, people down here, man, that they're ready, that they're always focused on their football team. Whereas, maybe up north you get a little bit more focused on other things, other sports, and then come back to it in the fall.
But the thing about up north sports, I think that people don't give it enough credit for is what y'all get sandwiched in between is the pro sport. Like, if you're talking about Penn State, you're going to get to talk. Now you're talking about the Steelers. Now you're talking about the Eagles. If you talk about Maryland, now you're talking about the Washington Commanders. And I think the thing about because I lived up northeast about like 5 years, it was always intriguing. It's not so much you taking away from the Penn States, the Pitts, the Ohio States, the Michigans. It's you talk about Michigan, somebody gonna start talking about the Lions. You talk about, Penn State, somebody gonna talk about who's gonna replace Ben Roethlisberger and who's gonna. So I think that's what it really is. It's almost like pro and college aren't really separated that much. Up north, down south, what? Carolina, Jacksonville, Atlanta. So I do think that's the healthy dynamic of, a guy like Saquon from the Bronx goes to Penn State, gets drafted by New York. It's stuff like that. So I think it's a built-in storylines. But make no mistake about it, man. Like big time football is played up north. Y'all got to deal with the snow. Y'all cut from a different cloth up there.
It's true.
I know y'all gonna have them nice indoor facilities, but you got to have snow boots for the snow, and you got to be able to function on not the snow, people. It's this thing called black ice. And if you've never experienced it, God has saved you because it is crazy. But hey, man, like I said, it is the spring. It is college football, which I think totally dominating. We might have a chance to like get it in, but before we get out of here, though, the USFL kicked off this weekend. PJ, man, I don't know if you had a chance to see some of the games. What do you think that is going to be able to be that attention grabber, and how much are they going to have to get some eyes, especially with the XFL coming to 2023?
Yeah, they got it. Like you said, they got to take advantage of it now. And, the best way to do it is just to promote it as much as possible, obviously, and market it as much as you can. And, maybe this weekend wasn't the best time for it just because of all the different spring games. But I think you start to move out of these weeks. I know you have some spring games coming up this weekend as well. You start to move out of these weeks. Maybe you get in the end of April and May. I think that's when probably you'll have the eyes start to turn to it and say, hey, there is more football going on. But like you said, they got to take advantage of it because the XFL is coming back heavy. And I think also, the XFL of all these different leagues is the one that garnered the most interest because of all the different things it tried to do in relation and kind of, in relation and contrast also to the NFL and trying to be that bridge, but also kind of that experiment type of league. So they got to take everything they can to it. Obviously it's going to be tough. I think it'll get more popular here in the coming weeks and hopefully it does. I know there's a lot of jokes and whatnot that go into these other football leagues, right? But at the end of the day, people are getting opportunities and we get to watch more football. So while it might not be, your favorite, football team or your favorite football athletes or whatever, It's guys out there trying to make a name for themselves, and it's guys out there playing football, and that's what we love, right? You'll watch your fourth and fifth string, defensive tackle, punter, whatever, take snaps during the spring game. You're probably going to be able to watch some other football as well, and some guys that are trying to make it. So, looking forward to it, and hopefully that popularity can go up and rise. Then again, when you start getting into competition with the XFL, I think that will be insanely interesting coming up next year. But we'll see what happens for him this year.
USFL kicked off this weekend, man. Very, very proud of the guys. I mean, I understand when you're trying to be able to be a professional, the NFL can't be the barometer. So USFL, XFL, CFL, I think you got a lot of different entities. I'm rooting for everybody involved. We're talking spring games, we're talking USFL, we're talking TANs. But when we come back, we're talking draft, because the draft is rapidly approaching. I mean, we are a week removed from this Thursday for the NFL draft. I am Ben Troop. He is PJ Zuko, filling in for Christian Gokel. This is Second Down, and we'll be right back. Welcome back in to Second Down. I am Ben Troop. He is the man, the myth, the legend, PJ Zuko, filling in for Christian Gokel. I was out there handling family business. Hey, man, Easter, man, it was rough on a lot of us, man. Some of us ain't getting no tans. Some of us, had them struggle plates that we was afraid to put online. I mean, we're going to get to the Easter food next, but
here we go.
PJ, there are a lot of drafts. And we talk about NBA, we talk about MLB, NHL, WNBA. Nothing supersedes the NFL draft because we got such a vested interest. One, because of the team we root for in college. Two, because the team we root for in the NFL. And three, just, it just piques our interest. So with, a little less than 2 weeks left for the draft to be jumping off, what are you most looking forward to in the draft? And is there a storyline that you're looking forward to going into it?
I would really like to see. I wish the storyline right now was us debating who was going to go number 1 overall, right? And I think us debating who is going to go and who should go is obviously two different stories. So I wish we were arguing about who was going to go number 1 and it being a question mark and everything like that. Right now, it seems pretty insanely locked in that is Aiden Hutchinson to Jacksonville, and that is one thing I am very kind of disappointed in. So I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. I think another big thing, and hopefully the answer here isn't the Falcons. Another big thing that keeps coming back to my mind is who is going to reach for a quarterback, because someone always does. And not that I don't think, the quarterbacks in this draft have the potential to be solid NFL quarterbacks or make an impact. No, I certainly believe that. There are 4 or 5 guys that I am pretty impressed with and can't wait to see what they do. There's probably one that I'm very confident in is going to be a solid guy if he gets put in the right position. But there's not one that I would overreach for. There's not one I would trade up and sell the house to go up and get, right? The problem is I'm scared someone's going to do that. I'm waiting to see who that team is.
Yep.
Right? Because most likely it's going to be one of these teams that we're always wondering how they're not reaching their full potential. And this is why, because they make moves like that when they don't need to, right? So that's one thing I just keeps flashing up into my mind. Who's going to trade up into the top 5? Who's going to trade up into the top 10 and sell the house for no reason to get one of these quarterbacks who possibly don't pan out? Now, that's not me trying to bank on a guy not having a good career. Like, I want them to succeed for sure. But this, I mean, like it's all about position. It's all about the right situation for you. And a lot of time, and it's also all about taking the right person at the right time. I'm just worried one of these teams is going to overextend themselves a little bit.
All right, now, PJ, I mean, speaking of overextending yourself, you're talking about these quarterbacks. Everybody knows that Washington Commanders, the Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, but Detroit Lions, but another unusual suspect, which Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, they got Mitchell Trubisky. I get it. Just like the Falcons went out there and got, Marcus Mariota. Your Pittsburgh Steelers, right? The one thing that we can say, Ben Roethlisberger gave them, 18 years? One guy. That's 18 drafts. Listen, 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl appearances, however you want to look at it. That was, to me, I know guys ain't even sniffing those Super Bowls.
Yeah.
For those of you who are trying to say, well, Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, what did he do for Pittsburgh? That would be 3 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl loss, or the 1 Super Bowl loss came to Aaron Rodgers. But do you see your Pittsburgh Steelers going out and get a quarterback? And because the thing about it is I will say this, the most stable, maybe the most tradition-rich organization in NFL is Pittsburgh. With all the things they've done with the Rooney family, it just goes on and on. Only 3 head coaches in their existence. Do you see them potentially reaching for a quarterback? Because I know it's all in for 2023, right? But with 2023, that's 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks?
Yeah.
So do you see your Pittsburgh Steelers potentially trying to get a quarterback in the first round?
I can see them doing it, especially with how much, we've heard about this Mike Tomlin and Malik Willis kind of connection and what we might see there and how much he's liked him. Then again, I do think there's other holes on this team that you can fill with that first round pick. Now, sitting there at 22, I don't think it'd be that much of a reach to get one of these quarterbacks at 20. I think it depends on which quarterback you're talking about. But Malik Willis, I would not argue that. I wouldn't be mad at that, right? okay, interesting. Let's see how this develops. And then you hope the fan base doesn't push him to get in too early than he needs to be. As much as I joked about the Mitchell Trubisky pickup, I would like to see how he does, how he fits in the system, and kind of what this new life could be for him in this system. And I hope that's not ruined by pressure from fans, because we know, I mean, we hear him in the stands. You know that coaches say they aren't impacted. Organizations say they aren't impacted by what those fans are yelling in the stands and whatnot. But you know they are. At the end of the day, you know that when the boos get louder, the backup comes in. It just happens. So you know they're influenced by that. So I wouldn't be insanely mad if we were able to let him develop, right? Or let whoever we get develop. I will, though, say that I would really like to see another position maybe taken there at 20, whether that be, a hole was a pretty massive hole was developed when Ryan Shazier went down and had his injury. And I love the fact that he's still working
still
with the organization,
the best recovery. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But still kind of looking for that glue guy to be able to fill that middle linebacker spot. And would love to see that. Would love to see, if he slides to this point, would love to see Nakobe Dean fall to that. My goodness, that's a perfect fit, right?
Wait. I'm not mistaken. Didn't y'all get Myles Jack?
We did.
So,
we did.
So
I forgot. Can you imagine that, though, in like a 3-4?
I will say this. And this is second down. I am Ben Troop. He is PJ Zuko filling in for the great Christian Gokel, who's out on family business. Hopefully he'll be back with us later on in the week. Christian, take your time, man. We're just holding down the fort. The reason why I'm bringing up Pittsburgh is this is what makes you a stable organization. When you don't hear anything about it.
Right.
You hearing about, listen, never even going to sniff Hard Knocks, right? Because they don't got a new coach. When they don't make the playoffs, people are like, what's going on? And arguably the best division in football right now, when you look at the fact that, Deshaun Watson's in Cleveland now, you still got to deal with a guy like Lamar Jackson with, you got Joe Burrow. Oh my, I mean, so I just think that the reason why I say Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh, obviously, if you live in the area, you're going to hear about them a lot, but stability is something that we just throw out there, right? The reason why I was saying quarterback is like Deshaun gonna play at a certain point in 2022. Might miss 8 to 10 games. Joe Burrow's coming off a Super Bowl berth. Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Just from a quarterback position, I want to be able to say, Mitch Trubisky, I get it, but I'm gonna throw out a couple of names at quarterback. I don't think Malik Willis is gonna be there. I don't think Kenny Pickett's gonna be there. He three names. Though.
Agreed.
I give you 3 names. Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
Matt Corral, Sam Howell. You only get one. You got your GM hat on. PJ Zuko show up there on draft day. What's your name? My name's PJ Zuko. I get to make it. Desmond Ridder, Cincinnati. Matt Corral, Ole Miss. Sam Howell, UNC.
Yeah, and I think I have to go with, if basically you took the 2 guys that I feel like are most secure. When I said like Kenny Pickett, I think is the best all-around quarterback. I think he's the most solid. He might not have the highest ceiling, but he doesn't have the bottom floor, right? He doesn't have the lowest floor.
That's fair.
And Malik Willis, if he can get those turnovers worked out, right? If he can hone in there, because in his big games he had turnover problems. Yeah. He can be extremely solid as well. I think with those 3 guys, I have to take the risk. And the risk for me is, and I'm spacing on his name. Are you kidding me? No, it's not. It's not him. It's
Sam Howell?
No, the other one.
Oh, Matt Corral.
Yeah, Matt Corral. I don't know why. I don't know why I lost his name.
I will say this now. Now, the reason why I say Matt Corral, now this is the thing though. Matt Corral is good. He got a little dual threat in him.
That's what I'm saying.
So hold on. So you telling me that Pittsburgh is gonna, obviously he can throw that thing. I'm getting it. But how much more dangerous to make your offense? Matt Corral? Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Freiermuth.
There you go.
And there's a lot of receivers, still in this draft.
Yep.
How dangerous could this Pittsburgh? Because now, listen, Pittsburgh is known for defense. Baltimore's known for defense. I don't know what Cleveland's known for. And obviously Cincinnati coming off Super Bowl berth. With that defense, and you got potentially 3 guys that was on rookie deals, one of them being the quarterback. I ain't even, all this time, I ain't even know freaking Harris went for like 1,200 last year.
Yeah.
And Freiermuth, is a red zone beast.
He is.
How much are they competing right now in that vaunted AFC North.
Extremely, to an extreme amount. I'm thinking, 11, 12 wins. Also, you talk about that dual threat with Matt Corral. If that offense can get that back, think about, I know he's a big boy, right? But think about the most successful years for that Pittsburgh offense, probably 2005 to 2015, a 10-year stretch where it was big. And Ben Roethlisberger was all over the place. And it was so hard to sack him, right? It was so hard to get him down. So if Matt Corral can come in and bring that aspect, but like I said, I was talking about that ceiling and the floor.
Yeah.
I think Corral honestly has the highest ceiling when you talk about explosiveness and just the big things he's able to do. But that's why I talk about that risk too, because potentially he has one of the lowest floors. You talk about injuries coming off this injury, obviously, and I don't think it wasn't as big of a deal as we thought it was there in the beginning. But still, coming off that injury, and also you talk about turnovers and things like that, that can be a bit of an issue. So, man, if he can be at his best, then and he's able to come into that offense and bring, man, that'd be huge. That would be huge. But I'll say that I didn't take Ridder there because I think Ridder is like one of the forgotten about guys in this draft class. I think he can be really good. But the thing that worries me is there are times during the season where he just kind of disappeared for Cincinnati.
Yeah, it does.
Like you go back to those games where they struggled and they beat a team they were supposed to beat by 40. They beat them by a touchdown.
Yeah.
And it was he was just kind of missing. I don't know if it was that offensive line or what, but that worries me. And I know Sam Howell didn't have a lot of route in him this year, but that kind of worries me too. You have the explosive, the big years, and then you got to hone in with some new talent, and he just wasn't able to do it kind of all year. So that worries me with him specifically. But yeah, man, Corral, I think if he can get in the right fit and in the right place, he could be insane. Like what he potentially would be able to do could be really big.
Potential is through the roof for a guy like Matt Corral, who got the vote of confidence for our very own PJ Zuko, a Penn State lover, a Pittsburgh enthusiast. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. PJ Zuko want to know, you guys are welcome. You got your one Super Bowl. Listen, we got a whole bunch of them over here in Pittsburgh, so congratulations to y'all, one Super Bowl.
Y'all got one. Be happy with it. Be happy with it and move on. You don't need another one.
This is Second Down. I am Ben Troop. He is PJ Zuko filling in for the great Christian Gokel. And when we come back, Easter food. When we come back, we're at Second Down. Welcome back into Second Down. I am being true, filling in for the great Christian Gokel. To my right, the man, the myth, the legend, excuse me, the man who just hasn't been able to find them sun rays for Easter, the great PJ Zuko. Now, PJ, yesterday was Easter. I know Easter's all about the Easter egg hunt. It's all about going to church. It's all about the loud suits. But we making it about the food a little bit. You said yours was relatively like easy Easter. I'm going to give you my Easter real quick.
Okay, here we go.
All right. My my sister, my younger sister Cariana, congratulations. She's having grandbaby number 11 here soon. Baby Cortland.
How about that?
He'll be grandbaby number 11. I can't Christian. I can't remember how many nephews I got now. But he's grandbaby number 11. So we did a baby shower slash Easter get together.
Okay.
I knew I was gonna be manning the meat, on the grill. So I was going in, I already knew hot dog, a bunch of kids. So hot dogs, hamburgers, maybe some chicken legs, keep it simple. All of a sudden, my sister gets out the car. She got these four gigantic tomahawk looking steaks.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right.
Let's go.
Listen, mom handled the seasoning, put them on the grill. And my mom got one of those grills where it's like right there behind the house. So it's kind of like came with how it's like it gets super duper hot. You got to watch everything on it.
Yeah.
We had we had the deviled eggs and we had the salad and it was a nice little. This is the thing about the meat though. My father, the elder statesman. Everybody else was saying, "Hey man, we just gonna cut up the meat a little bit and make sure everybody gets some of the steak." My daddy go, "I ain't sharing no steak." What? I don't care what y'all do with 3 out of the 4, but one of them was mine.
That's it.
So my dad's out there, he's still doing daddy stuff. He's out there cutting grass, cutting hedges, trying to get the yard right. Mind you, we already here. The food is already.
I was about to say, yeah. He's working on the yard while the party's happening.
My dad's keeping it a buck. Easter was a day for him. We understand it's a day of celebration and different things, but my daddy was like, hey. So my auntie comes over, and she looks at me and say, my family calls me Benny. She was like, Benny, you cooking? Yeah. She's like, are you grilling? I said, anytime you've ever come to my mama's house, your older sister's house and eaten, and it was meat, that was me. And she was like, really? Yeah. I judge I am not trying to make it seem as if I'm a great cook at all, but grilling, I can grill. I can look at it and I can. So what happens is though, I judge it off of this, PJ. Maybe you do it differently. I'm looking for clean plates. I don't care about the condiments. I ain't have nothing to do with the extras, with the
people
salad,
stress. People stress so much over what condiments other people use, man. Just let me eat my food in peace.
So what happens is, listen, my little nephew, Julian, Joe Juice. He said, Uncle Ben, I need a hot dog. Boom, hot dogs and hamburgers. He's over there. He don't need no bread. Just give him the meat. He out
there you go.
Way.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'm looking at everybody eating a steak, and they tearing this steak up. And they ain't eating with no. Listen, we ain't got no steak sauce. They just eating it. So now my dad, he's done.
That's fine.
My dad done getting everything. He goes over. My dad goes where my steak at.
Oh no.
My dad gets his steak.
Oh, okay.
He makes his plate.
He got a steak. I was getting ready for like. Okay, I was getting ready for like doomsday scenario.
In the room, watching whatever he watching. Got his little. The little dinner tables, and when you pull out, out the closet.
Yeah.
My daddy is going in on this steak, PJ. And what happened was,
is the steak bigger than the dinner table?
Oh my God, it is huge.
Yeah.
Listen, but he's eating it. Listen, he got it like he's holding his hand like it got bread around it, and he's kidding. All I'm saying is, I am not bragging on the grilling skills. All I'm saying is, my mama kept saying, I thought it would be a lot more leftover meat than this. Wasn't nothing left but a bunch of salad, a bunch of rabbit food, as the great Kevin Thomas would say.
Of course.
And we had, no deviled eggs. So shout out. So listen, now I do this though. Did I take pictures of what I did? Yes. Did I post it? No, because what I think look good to me is not going to look good to the world. But nobody's sick this morning. My Easter plates of food. Well, I think it was a success.
Yeah. No, that sounds fantastic. And you talk about Easter, like you said, you got to talk about the eggs. And you mentioned something there that I think is unpopular. And I understand why it's unpopular. Because growing up, I was like, all right, I want the candy eggs. I want to go out, you try and find the eggs. You got the money in it. You got the candy in it, all this other stuff.
Yes.
And then you get to the dinner table and it's like, hey, we got deviled eggs for you. And when I was a kid, I was like, why would I ever want to eat these things? And then like teenager, whatever, I'm like, okay, I'll try anything once. Popped it. I was like, holy, what have I been missing? Deviled eggs are good now.
Oh, you missing out. Deviled eggs are the truth. And they quick, right?
Yeah.
You know how when you're a kid, you don't see how stuff is made. So it looks real sophisticated. No, man, you boil them. Listen, you boil them, you cut them open, you take out the old, you know. I mean, all I'm saying is we was tearing them things.
Oh yeah.
But I will say this. Listen, great to see my fam. Great to see everybody.
Absolutely.
You know, my little sister, man, you know, she's bringing up the rear. You know, we are, you know, she's, like I said, having grandbaby number 11. My mom and dad seemed to enjoy it. We enjoyed everybody, man. It was just out there on the back porch, you know, kind of like overcast skies.
For sure.
Wasn't a lot of sun rays. We out there just having fun, just enjoying each other. But no, man, it was, I mean, I knew something was up, though, because I said, oh, man, hot dogs and hamburger, that's easy. Some chicken legs, that's easy. My sister come in. I'm like, what you doing? She's like, I got something.
What do you have?
What? And these, I mean, I'm going to show PJ
Why you complicating
in the break.
Yeah.
Just how the end product look. I don't. Lincoln Riley got me knowing you don't post. You don't post. No. You don't post your like your dinner pics because what you think look good on the grill don't look good universally. But I mean universally, but it was good. Wasn't no leftovers. He is PJ Zuko. I am being true. Filling in for Christian Gokel. This is Second Down, and we'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back. It's Second Down, presented by the Uniform Source here on ESPN Radio. PJ Zuko here with you, filling in for Christian Gokel up in Atlanta with the family. Hopefully be back on with us here in a little bit. But Christian, enjoy your time, man, and we'll try and hold it down for you. But PJ Zuko here with you. We brought in, listen, you're going to be able to hear a lot of his takes here in a little bit on 3 and Out. But wanted a little bit of a snippet here, because Kevin Thomas is here with us at the end of Second Down, because just looking over things and checking in with the Braves. Yeah, Huascar Ynoa coming back for his second start of the year tonight against Clayton Kershaw. And I know a lot of people, those late night Braves fans are going to be looking forward to seeing what the Braves do against Freddie Freeman and all that storyline, blah, blah. But then again, just looking back on the weekend, Kevin, I know it's not a series win. It's not huge or anything, but thought in response to how the series started with the Padres, you come back, get a couple wins, have really solid outings from a couple of your pitchers, got the bats going a little bit. Yesterday, even, it was a loss, yes, but one of those 2-1 losses where if you get some more hits, drive in some more runs, obviously you got to win. So the pitching wasn't a huge problem. But going into the series, the start of the series, it was like, whoa, what's going on here? It's a good job to be able to reel it back in. Now right back to 5-6, near 500.
Yeah, and again, last night the pitching was 2 young guys for Atlanta getting it done with Elder and Spencer Strider. So, look, a season or a series split rather with the San Diego Padres is not bad. Again, people can say, Padres are a good team. I think the Padres kind of fell apart at the end of last year, but they're a team that's trying to make a run in the West with the Dodgers and the Giants as getting into the postseason. So, they're a quality team. They're very tough, and I think you saw that. You got to split. There's nothing to be ashamed of there, and you move on. This is a series I'm interested to see because it's all, it's late night tonight and tomorrow, afternoon game on Wednesday, but to me, this is all about Freddie Freeman. I mean, this whole series right here is about Freddie Freeman. First time you see him in the disgusting Dodger blue.
Yeah.
And, again, he's off to a great start. It's fantastic. He's off to a good start. He's playing like you think Freddie Freeman should. Matt Olson's hitting over 400. He's off to a great start. So at least through the first week and a half or 2 weeks, look, both guys have been pretty good. Now, am I rooting for Freddie Freeman? Nope.
Right.
Not in this series.
Yeah.
Probably not in most series because that's a direct competitor to the Braves, playoff or World Series chances. But, I'm not as interested in this series as I am when the Dodgers come to Atlanta, I think coming up in July. Will some of the bitterness be gone from Braves Nation by then? We'll see.
Yeah.
Again, there's Braves fans out in the West Coast, but I mean, if he gets booed tonight, it's going to be by such a small amount of people that I don't think that's a reflection of anything. But I'm interested more in the reception he gets when he comes back to Atlanta. The fact now, if this series was in Atlanta, I think you might have a little bit different reaction to it now. I still think there would be some gratitude applause and things of that nature. But I think by the time we get to July, again, you got to be over it at that point. Somewhat, if you're a Braves fan. I don't think at that point it's like, dude, it's been half a season already of him in LA. You can't just be like, screw you, buddy. Like, I think that stuff has got to be pretty much over and done with. And I think the more that Matt Olson plays well, it's fine. It's like, look, he is where he is. We know the story. We know the deal. He basically signed for the same amount of money. He tried to play all the cards he had. And in the end, he didn't quite have enough cards, or he thought he had a card that he didn't have. And the Braves just simply said, look, we can't wait any longer. And we moved on. And again, that's going to hurt feelings. That's going to rub people the wrong way, but it's a business. You played that game and you lost as far as that goes. I mean, is he on a great team? Yes. But if you really want to stay with the Braves, as everybody said, you could have. And in the light of day, the Braves have made a legitimate offer, and he tried to angle for more and didn't get it, at least not from the Braves. And in terms of average money, didn't really get that much more, from the Dodgers. Because once the Braves signed Matt Olson, then the Freddie Freeman leverage, I mean, it was like he's going to go to the Braves or to the Dodgers or the Yankees, and the Dodgers essentially became the hometown team at that point. So he kind of lost his leverage with them also. So I think tonight it'll be interesting. It's going to be weird seeing him at first base and wearing Dodger blue, but at the same time, it'd be nice if the Braves could get a win. Pitching matchup, not favorable tonight, but yeah, it's. I think this is part of the closure process. Get this series out of the way and move on.
Yeah, and I know, again, like you said, pitching matchup not necessarily favorable for the Braves. I mean, you got Clayton Kershaw and Huascar Ynoa going out there for the Braves. Then again, I am pretty excited to see Huascar in his second start to the season. He was a guy that was surging, I feel like, before the injury there last year kind of derailed him. And then I think everyone kind of took their turn early this season in going out there with bad early matchups and bad early showings from the starting pitching kind of thing. Yeah, you had one or two pretty good, but for the most part, there weren't very great ones. But Huascar hopefully got that out of his system and now back and ready to go out and have a good night tonight against the Dodgers. But like you said, I think it would be much more insane and crazy and fun, sure, if this series was in Atlanta to see exactly how the fans would react. Then again, we'll see how they react in LA, man. Well, if you're in LA tonight, let's say if you're in LA tonight and your Braves blue, are you booing? Or what's
again at this point? I'm just over it. And again, I'm not one. Look, I get it's a business.
True.
At the same time, it's like could I boo Freddie Freeman? Maybe, but at the end of the day, here's the deal. It's pro sports. Pro sports is a business. What did you want out of your stars? Bring a championship. He did that. You know what? At the end of the day, you got a World Series with Freddie Freeman. You got an MVP with Freddie Freeman, and he elected to go somewhere else, or at the very least had to go somewhere else because he just took too much time in deciding on where he wanted to be, and that's business. You got your World Series out of it. I'm just ready to move on. I think from the the jilted lover stuff of Freddie Freeman was like, oh, I was shocked. Yeah. I couldn't talk for 2.5 hours. Well, you knew the deal. I was like, you knew what the deal was. You got everything you probably asked for, except for the 6th year, which again, if you played out 4 years of that contract and could still play, the Braves probably would have given you enough. Like at that point, you would have been with the Braves close to 16 years. Mm-hmm. They would have. I mean, like at that point, they're just not letting you go anywhere. And so,
true. I
think it was simple, high stakes poker on his part, and he lost. He did not have a winning hand, or he had a winning hand. He just chose not to play it. Right. How about that? And had to go with another option. So I'm over being mad about it. It's going to be weird, but I mean, it's time to move on. Best of luck. You're with the Dodgers. I hope you go 0-3 the next 3 days.
Sure.
Look, that's how I feel about it. Again, do I want him to hit a game-winning walk-off homer against the Braves? No. I think that would be awful, but if Matt Olson does it,
that'd be perfectly fine with that. Yeah, no, that'd be fine.
But that's just where I am with Freddie. It'll be again. I think it's nice to get this early in the season out of the way. Get the all the nods and the hat tips, and then when he comes to Atlanta, it's like, here's your ring. We appreciate it, and now let's move on. I hope it's that way anyway.
Right.
Tom Glavine got booed when he went to the Mets. Will he get booed when he comes to Atlanta? Probably by some. Will he get cheers? Yeah, I think by that point, by a good majority of folks who look, common sense at that point, it's like, dude, they've already played like 80 games at that point. Like, he ain't coming back.
No, exactly.
It is what it is. So
I think there's
kind of where my head is with it.
For sure. I think there's some differences there too, right? If there wasn't a World Series championship last year, I think he'd probably be booed more than he'll be cheered. They're coming in July. If you didn't get Matt Olson, I'm sure there'd be a lot of it because you left that wound open. But luckily, that wound got closed up by a really good first baseman there in Matt Olson, and you got him to kind of build you into the future with. So I think you'll see what you see with a lot of these kind of World Series or championship guys that go somewhere else. The first night, or the first, little bit at least, will be some welcoming, will be some cheers and whatnot, and thank you for what you did. And then from there on out, now we're booing you as much as possible because you're with the stinking Dodgers. So I think that's what we'll see in July. What we'll see tonight is going to be interesting, but I think more interesting as you move on throughout the weekend is, can the Braves get over 500, 5-6 right now, and obviously going up, matching up with a really good Dodgers team. Kevin, of course, Kevin Thomas, you'll hear more of him on 3 and Out coming up just after Second Down here. And we'll get more of his Braves talk there. So after Easter here as well, you have, but we got a minute left. What was the spread like? What was the spread like yesterday, Kevin?
I went and ate with my folks, and I think we had it pretty simple. It was just, some ham, some mac and cheese.
Okay.
Cream corn, stuff like that. And it's just your typical, I guess, Southern lunch.
Not bad.
It was good. I must have been tired or something. I took like a 3-hour nap after that. So
Ooh, there you go.
I was done.
I talked to someone yesterday, and they were like, we had the same spread as Thanksgiving.
Pretty much.
And I was like, man.
That's pretty much minus the turkey. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, don't have to overthink that at all. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So I'm all for that Thanksgiving food. But of course, Kevin Thomas, you'll hear more of him on 3 and Out, talking Braves, Georgia spring game, NFL draft, all that good stuff here coming up soon. But this has been Second Down, presented by The Uniform Source. Christian Gokel will be back with us at some point. But listen here on the ESPN Radio to 3 and Out after this.